Hey, what's up? Welcome to another video. It's Brendan, and this video is a bit of a. I guess I've been feeling very anxious as of late, simply because of the decisions that I'm making with my life. For those who aren't familiar with what I'm doing on this channel, but long story short, I've been developing and exploring spiritual development, manifestation techniques, esotericism, psychic mediumship, clairvoyancy, everything for the last 12 years. And it's led me down a lot of interesting roads in my life. And I've recently, after a long and successful career in tree work as an arborist, I've hit a point where these manifestations that I've been putting into place and the intuitional guidances that I've been experiencing have now gotten me to a point where I'm being pushed away from tree work. And with what I'm doing, essentially my goal is to share these manifestation techniques that I've been exploring for so long that I know work, and basically document the process of how to use them and how to pay attention to what is going on in your life and make the right decisions toward getting to where you need to. And so with these manifestation techniques I've been studying and utilizing, these are the same ones that led me to tree work, the same ones that led me through my entire career. They're the same ones that led me to quitting on certain employers and working for other ones, and always helping me grow in the way that I needed to at that point in my life. But my goal forever, when I got into tree work, my original goal was I want to become like a sick climber, and then I want to like run a crew and just contract between 4 and 6 days a week and just play music and create music and do study these spiritual concepts on the side, and hopefully eventually make a living doing what I want to, in terms of being creative and trying to use that creativity to inspire other people to be creative, and just trying to encourage people to chase the dream like I'm doing, rather than settling for a job that gives them the comforts that they are looking for in life. And so I'm at a point where I'm like, tree work is well and truly behind me. The way I look at it is I feel like I complete the arborist quest in my life in the same way that I've complete lots of different journeys that I've been on. You have certain partners that you're with and you break up, and there's a certain lesson involved with there that that you couldn't achieve without having them in it, or a certain job that you've had, or certain friend group that you've been a part of. There's always lessons that are going on in our lives. And I feel like I'm at to the end of the tree work one, because as I said, like when I got into it, I wanted to contract however much I wanted to and pursue my dreams the rest of the time. And before I knew it, I think I really achieved exactly what I wanted to out of tree work. Like by the end of things, I was contracting 4 or 5 days a week, running a crew, working with some of my best mates, and climbing trees and just like making heaps of money. And then also doing like the odd cashy on the weekend or on a spare day, making like a couple grand cash, just doing all that kind of stuff. And I was very aware that it didn't really get better than that. I never wanted to run my own tree company. It, going around quoting and trying to undercut people and like be competitive and then do the work. It's kind of one of those things, like if you want to climb, you kind of just want to run a crew and rock up. If you want to make lots of money, you run the business and you do all the quoting and all that kind of stuff. And so, I realized that I got where I was looking to get to, and I knew that I was I was questioning things. I was like, okay, I'm where I've been, visualizing and wanting to manifest for the last 6 or 7 years. And now I'm finally here and I'm ready to make this next step. But, I don't really know how to do it. And I've just been kind of focusing lots of money into my music and lots of money just into my passions that I want to develop a living from. And it got to the point where it felt like I was ready for that next step. I was waking up at work, or I was waking up on my days for work, and the first thing I thought was, oh man, I really can't be fucked doing this anymore. And I knew that feeling as well because it happened to me when I was doing Powerline work too. I was waking up just thinking, oh man, I don't want to do this. And the days were blurring and I was distracting myself and I was just doing lots of things to try and pretend like I was having a really good time doing what I wanted. And during this period, I was also doing a lot of manifestation techniques of, visualizing where I want to be, whether it be helping people or playing music or, just creating online content or doing a podcast or doing this kind of stuff. I would visualize myself and where I want to be and what I want to be doing and the impact I want to be having and the people that I'm surrounding myself with and, who I want to evolve into as a human and as a businessman and as a musician and a creative individual. And I started putting a lot more emphasis into just how far I want to take it. And within a very short time of doing this, many things happened all at once, which ended up leading me to wanting to leave the tree industry, which none of it was negative. I realized that I wasn't as happy as I was trying to make myself believe I was. And the reason I wasn't happy is because I wasn't pursuing the thing that I love with all of my heart. I still had one foot in another dimension. And in order to get what I want, which is, again, like doing these manifestation techniques and sharing what they are and showing real life proof of, or documenting at least what I'm doing and how they unfold, this requires absolute focus along with sharing these techniques and doing, say, like the spiritual and psychic development side of things along with being creative, because at the end of the day, I believe we're all here to create. Creativity is the meaning of life. And I feel like I'd be a bit of a hypocrite if I was telling people to go and follow a creative pursuit whilst not having a portfolio of creative shit that I've done myself, or at least being good enough at my creative passion that I can, kind of be somewhat of an authority on it. And and so one of the things that I know that I've had to do in order to do this is it's not enough to just commit to it and have this idea. It's a case of throwing myself in the deep end as far as I can so that I have no option other than to succeed. And as it is, like, I absolutely loved tree work. Like, I think it's the sickest job you can possibly have for a living. That's the reason I got into it in the first place, is because I hit a point in my life where I was like, man, what do I want to do with my life? And I was like, fuck, it'd be pretty cool to be a rock star. And I was like, well, can't really just do that. But the next coolest thing would probably be like climbing big ass trees and using chainsaws and doing crazy shit like that. Like, that would be pretty fucking awesome. And so I have. And so, as I said, the whole point of what I'm doing is to display and document these manifestation techniques and how they work. And the one that I'm currently doing is, I've seen the next series of things that I have to do through these manifestations, and I'm in the process of creating videos and footage of what they are and how to use them so I can teach them. But through these experiences, you will receive certain visions of particular outcomes that will happen if you follow a certain string of events. And one of the things that I've been led to do is I need to sell all of my tree equipment. Again, like create these courses, create these manifestation videos as well, organize my podcast. That's why I've spent a whole bunch of time getting my space looking nice. Also doing like digital like music scene content as well, which I'm working toward as well, making like another YouTube channel for all that kind of stuff, and just really involving myself in the whole creative process of everything. And yeah, so rather than just selling my tree gear, I thought that I may as well actually just document the process of me doing it. So I've taken a photo of all my stuff. I'm just selling it all as one unit, just like climbing rope, harness, spurs, SRT gear, carabiners and stuff, except for my trusty rope runner. I'll definitely be keeping this as a keepsake for how many hundreds of trees I climbed it with. It's nice and worn in, but I'll definitely keep that forever, just to remind me of the conquering of the tree and of the tree quest, so to speak. But yeah, and so I felt extremely anxious about this whole thing. You know, like once I do this, that's it. That's like the safety net's gone, and you know I have to invest lots and lots of money if I want to try climb trees again. And yeah, as I said, I was super anxious about it. I was going to do it yesterday, and then I chickened out of it. I was like, I need to think about this more and figure it out. But when I was thinking about it today and trying to warm myself up to it, I was like, well, if I document the process, then that gives meaning to this. This means that because I am super anxious about a whole bunch of things, but I fully believe that anxiety is it's the challenge that you need to face in order to get to that next step in your life. And you know, I feel anxious as fuck about this, and to me that is a good sign. That means that, you know, once I do this, this will open up new avenues which haven't been available to me before. I will receive new information on the next steps that I need to take, and I'll also be able to then share what happens with you after posting this, because this is what it's all about. There is no, when it comes to these manifestation techniques and the way that this all works, is that it's not a case of like, do this one thing and then everything will make sense. It's a case of you do the things that your soul and your intuition are guiding you towards. You do them, and you will be rewarded in certain ways that will be, you'll be rewarded in certain ways that will push you toward where your goal is. All of a sudden, someone might say something to you that you wouldn't have otherwise thought about, that made you think about something, that led you to an answer about something you're meant to do, or you might come across someone, or something might appear on your social media, or just you might have a particular dream about something. So that's what I'm kind of doing at this point. This is kind of just present moment now. I've put everything up on Marketplace. I'll probably post it to the local tree group tomorrow to see if someone wants to buy it. I've got a couple of chainsaws I want to get rid of as well. But this is the next step in what I have to do. I feel very anxious about it because I'm doing something that no sane human would ever do, and just sell all their shit based upon an intuitional feeling that they have. But again, something will happen from this, and I'll be able to document it to you, and I'll be able to show you how to do this yourself. And before you know it, I can guarantee that I've seen certain things that are going to happen in my future. I've been exploring these things for a long time. I've been to a lot of different psychic readings which have supported the things I'm now seeing for myself. And it's just one of those things where I can only prove this stuff to you over time, but I have to document and start somewhere. So this is the very early documentation stages of what following your psychic intuition will do for you, and the true art of manifestation and creating your own reality. So yeah, thank you for watching. I'm going to try and upload these at least like a couple times a week. Just updating things. I used to journal a lot, whereas I'm just going to like create videos instead now, because it's like, it's another way of logging the history of what's going on. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Shout out to all of my arborist friends around the world. It's truly a magnificent job, and if you have the moxie to get into it, I highly suggest it, because it will change you. It will change you in the most magnificent way. It'll show you just how tough you are in all situations. So thanks for watching. I'm not going to ramble on too much longer, but yeah, peace. God bless.